What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre tutorials and reviews, back in here with one more video. All right, guys, you already know what time it is. It is time to get active. Video today entitled My Hell Phase. These seem to be really popular videos amongst the millennials. You understand me? So let's get in there and dissect. Hopefully we'll learn something new here today. Without further ado, hey ho, how you doing? Where you been? Probably doing ho shit, cause there you ho again.
Hey guys, welcome to my bedroom. I'm Bella. I hope
Fantastic
you're doing amazing.
Shout out to Ludacris.
Today is my first full day as a 28-year-old. Yesterday was my birthday.
Happy birthday,
and I think
mama.
I started this channel right before I turned 26. So I know at the beginning of the year, I set my 2018 sex goals. And after reviewing the episode, I've actually achieved a lot of those goals in one way or another. But I kind of...
A couple quick things. I am not putting that Kanye West beat. She chose that song. What's it? You're such a fucking hoe. I love it. That song. I am not putting that on there. Also, too, she's definitely in. Is that a? I guess that's a bra. I thought at first it was like a swimsuit or something like that. It's a bra. So I maybe this is just like a sex focused channel. Maybe, but I tried to hide a little bit of it so YouTube doesn't demonetize a young thug. You know what I mean? All right, let's get back in it.
Deviated severely from one. And like I said, it's more of a deviation than it has been a complete failure. I'll cut to the chase. These last 10 months, January to October, have been my hoe months. I've been doing some fuckboy shit and some hoe shit. So for a bit, I felt really guilty about it. And then I started to question, like, why am I doing this? Why am I behaving this way? Why am I going outside of the norm of how I generally behave to this, like, who is this person? And when I say hoe phase, I don't mean that I was, like, accepting money in exchange for sex. Definitely not that. But, you know, like, I've been having a good amount of sex. And quite a few partners, more than I think I'd had up until this point.
I was just about to I was just about to say, I want her to define what it means to her, because, you know, people have different definitions of what it is, but it sounds like, but in the last 10 months, she's had more partners than what she's had in her life. So yeah, this is definitely, I think you know, let's just say, you know, she looks like she's about, she looks 25, 26-ish, maybe like around there. So let's say like in that time, you know, 5. So in the past 10 months, you know, shit, I don't even know. If she has a sex channel, it might be something like 27, right? So are you up there in the numbers? Do you have more than 27 in the last 10 months, right? She gives me free spirit vibes. This is a young lady that, you know, I would swipe right on. I would definitely swipe right on Tinder. She's very attractive. But then I would pick up key components of her personality, which would land me here, and I would not take it seriously after that. But let's see. I wanted to elaborate.
Most, if not all, I've had sex with previously or I've known for a really long period of time. I personally attribute my hoe phase to a couple of different factors. Without dragging this on too long, let's get into those. Just keep in mind that everybody deals with things differently and everybody has a hoe phase or doesn't have a hoe phase for their own individual reasons. These are my reasons. This is what happened. So first, I never had one. Most people have a hoe phase or some semblance of that when they're in college. I had a boyfriend. Honestly, for like the last 9-10 years, I've been in some state of perpetual relationship. And even to my situations that weren't fully monogamous, I operate more on a monogamous level. So, you know, even though there were open relationships, I generally stuck to my one partner. So yeah, I never had one. My second reason is a lot more real and maybe a lot more relatable to other people, but I was mad depressed. 27 was a pretty difficult year for me. I was severely depressed. My relationship ending the month after my birthday was, you know, like actually took a lot more of a toll on me than I think I wanted to admit. I wanted to come off as very strong and just move on and keep it pushing. And months later, I realized, fuck, like I'm not happy. So.
All right, just real quick, we learned a couple of things there. So she said that she's 28. I might have missed that in the beginning, but she said that she's 28 past 8-9 years. She hasn't had one. She's been in relationships. You know, and I see this as well, you know, that, you know, they go through their 20s, been in relationships, one failed relationship after another, and they get to the end of it, and then they do a quick sprint of bodies, right? Let's knock all these bodies out the way just to recalibrate and see kind of where actually I am. But this is the problem, is that if you didn't go into those relationships, like let's say marriage is your goal, but if you went to those relationships with lackadaisical goals within the person that you're in a relationship with, and now you are in your later 20s, and now you go a sprint towards all of these bodies, right? Which is thereby decreasing your value on the market with all these additional experiences, right? Like if marriage is eventually your goal, you should hightail it right now to find a dude that is serious about marriage now, because you're getting closer and closer to a time period where the opportunity for family significantly decreases. And I'm talking about wall, but from a biology perspective. Okay. So let's just keep it moving.
Typical coping mechanism for people trying to avoid their depression is, you know, spending time with other people, distracting themselves with other people, and that's kind of what I was doing. And honestly, it wasn't the whole shit that made me realize that I was depressed. It was when that depression started to spill into other aspects of my life, like keeping my room clean, going to the gym. I started getting like kind of chunky. My plants were dying, and you guys know I love my plant babies. Not filming the episode, like I didn't feel inspired. It really wasn't until all those things started to happen that I was able to, one, focus on those things, and once I got that kind of situated, step back and be like, okay, what's actually the root of the problem here? Like, what's going on? Even though
let me comment on that. I think that that's actually dope introspection. I think that that's really dope introspection. Why? Because you know, and it also lends more data to something that I say, is that, you know, this fly by night decision making of what you are doing with your body, there might be an imbalance of chemicals in your mind, because I've never seen the conclusion of a lifelong hoe phase person. Like, let's say most of their adulthood was a hoe phase. I've never seen a positive outcome of that. Put it down. Put it down in the description box below. Have you ever seen a positive outcome of a hoe phase all through their 20s? A positive outcome. Let me know. I've seen positive outcome of not a hoe phase. I've seen very positive outcomes of that. But what she's talking about is getting out of a relationship and then falling into a depression, one of which she didn't identify until it started to sprinkle itself into other aspects of her life, which is part of the reason why I have this channel, is to highlight behaviors and say, is this a good behavior or a bad behavior? Because right now in media, a hoe phase is something that everybody should go through. So she doesn't identify a problem that she might be depressed with her getting more bodies in the last 8 months than what she's ever had. Didn't even occur to her, which is why I think it's important to call this information out. When she noticed it is when there was other activities in her life. That's key to pick up. That's key to understand. Okay. That lets me know that there's a benefit in a channel like this. There's a benefit in a channel like this because it's saying, it's rewriting what media puts out there to make money off of and bringing it closer to reality of the situation. Let's keep it moving.
I really, really liked it. So my third reason, I really like sex. We know this. This is a thing. We have a channel called In Bed with Bella. I talk about sex because I really, really, really like sex. I have no shame in admitting that. So you can understand my confusion in myself when I was like shaming myself for having a hoe phase. I know that even though I wasn't always acting from a place of mindfulness, I vetted my partners. I use protection. These aren't like shitty rando people that I'm picking up off the street and then I feel guilty about. These are like people that I genuinely care or like. I enjoyed every single one of those multiple orgasms, and no one's gonna shame me for that, especially not myself. Men get to have sex with.
Yeah, she's got a YouTube channel where she talks about it. This is a one of those spiritually, sexually persons. It's like sexuality is a part of their spirituality. Like one of those. Now I will say, let me keep it funky. Ladies like this are extremely fun. They're extremely fun. They're extremely fun. However, a lot of that freedom will show up in other places. It will show up in a lot of other places, including gender roles and roles in a relationship and a marriage. All right. So gents, if you are with a sexually free spirit, if you are with someone whose sexuality seems to be intertwined with the chakras in her body, right? Like it's some spiritual seance that she has every time that she's doing that. Just know and understand what type of actual person that she is and what does she actually believe in? What are her actual morals and values outside of the good feeling that she can give you in that moment? Because a lot of us get clouded by the viscosity. A lot of us will get clouded by the viscosity. Also, with the multitude of bodies that she's talking about, you also have to understand, all right, you generally enjoy these people, right? Well, why did these people want to put you in a relationship? Why didn't these men or women didn't want to put you in a relationship? Okay, that's a key thing, and you may not get the answer to that. I'm not telling you to ask that, but it's something that you should put within your mind. What was the reason? Okay, I think it's good data.
Multiple partners and get praised for it. They get to have sex with no emotional ties, and it's no problem. Special alert, so do women. So those are my reasons. Where do I stand now? 28, I'm seeing through whole new eyes, right? Yeah, kind of. In all honesty, I get over things really quickly. Like when I was 21, 22, I used to love to go to the clubs. By 23, I was over it. It was the same shit every night, same people doing the same thing, talking about nothing.
I agree.
And it just got boring. After about 10 months of doing the same whole shit, I'm kind of over it. That's kind of where I stand. It's getting kind of boring. I said at the beginning of the year, my 2018 sex goals video, that I wanted a relationship, and that's still true. It's actually probably more true now than it was when I first said it, and I actually probably believe it more now than I did when I first said it. Honestly, over the last 2 months or so, my hoe antics have kind of gone down. They've diminished quite a bit. I always say on my channel that I want it to be a place where we can all discuss openly how we feel. I would ask, however, that,
There's some ominous stains on her pillows in the background. I just demonetized. She gets it papping. Anyway, let's go on.
Super religious, super judgy people keep their commentary to themselves. There's a whole other channel that talks about purity and all the shit that you guys are interested in. Somewhere else on YouTube, this is not the spot. I'm not here to judge anybody else. Please don't judge me. I really enjoyed my whole phase. Like I did. I had great sex with great guys and a girl.
But what was the result? What was the result? Did you get anything out of it? And I think that's the point. I think that's the point. Okay. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna judge anybody and what they choose to do unless it impacts me. All right. At the point that it can impact me, right? The choices that you've made in your past and allowing you into my circle, I can do that. Shit, you go sign up for a job at a place of business, they're going to look at your resume. They're going to ask kind of what are the transferable skills from these last places of employment that you've been at that you can utilize for. There's applications and you got to talk your way through the interview and all that stuff like that. The dating phase is an interview, right? And I'm asking questions like, what have you done with the last 10 months of your life? And you've been getting your viscous innards plundered by caveman-sized men. what was the result? What was the intended outcome? I think, especially with, you up there at 28, okay? You should be dating with purpose. You should be dating with intention. You should be very intentional about everybody that you let into your life, because time is running out, okay? I mean, here's the thing. When we talk about this wall thing, this time is running out thing, I do think that it's negatively correlated with how attractive that the woman is. I mean, there's some things in there that's not negatively correlated, because we all know when the risk of birth significantly increases around the 34, 35, 36 time period. But the more attractive that the woman is, the longer that she can hold off the wall, because you'll still get men that want to date you even though you might be in your younger 30s, but you look either extremely youthful or you're just naturally beautiful, okay? So you got some time, but I would say start to become intentional about it. Let's see if she's got any more thoughts.
I think the whole thing was I was really shaming myself for it. And I think that was all just a part of the depression cycle, trying to keep myself down, trying to give myself reason to be depressed, as opposed to just figuring out what the issue was and actively working towards getting myself out of it. And now that I've gotten myself to a place where I actively feel like I'm getting myself out of it, then I can look back at my whole phase and be like, yo, that was fun. Good shit. Good stuff. Anyways, guys, I want to thank.
All right, that's the end of her video. What I really appreciate about the things that she was saying is that she identified it was due to her depressive state. So again, you have someone here that's talking about, I just went through a whole phase. I've identified that it was due to my depression. It wasn't, I went through a whole phase because I thought that it was going to be major benefit in my life. But still, there is a lack of accountability of how much that either A, it had a negative detriment on her life, or B, there was no value at all besides the nut. Okay. Which, at the end of the day, if you find value in that, then that's fine. But in terms of your life goal and your mission, and it sounds like you're trying to get into a relationship, did it add any value? What was the ROI on giving up them guts? Doesn't seem like there was a lot. All right, guys, that's what I'm going to leave this video here today. As per usual, on reactions like this, do not go over to their channel and leave a whole bunch of bullshit. All right. If I go over there and I see some comments from you, all right, negative or disparaging in nature, I'm blocking you on my channel. No ifs, ands, or buts. All right. But thank you very much, Mama. I appreciate you putting this out here in a public space so we can go over it. Okay. I think that it's very important in this day and age. Questions, comments, concerns, y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, I got an Instagram. This was sent to me on my Instagram. Go to my Instagram, give your boy a follow, send me content. We'll wholeheartedly appreciate it. Greatly helps my content sourcing process. So that's how you can help and contribute to the channel. Last but not least, I got a Patreon as well. Link down in the description box down below. Amazing benefits up there. Click on the link, go up there, see what's in store. Have any questions, send me an email, okay? Until next time, YouTube, peace.